Hello, hello, my friends. I have a dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Kringle Candle Reserve Mid-Autumn Moss. Full disclosure, this candle was sent to me in PR. I do always like to be upfront about that when I do any kind of candle reviews. However, if you've been with my channel any length of time, you guys know that my reviews really are not influenced whether or not I receive a candle in PR or whatnot. I do always strive to give you the pros and cons and let you decide whether or not a candle sounds like it would be a good addition to your collection. So this is one of their standard 2-wick 100% soy wax candles. It does come in this kind of transparent black, what would we call this, vessel. Beautiful picture on the front here. I really like this aesthetic, I would say, for this Reserve line. I do like that they tend to go with kind of some very like classic, beautiful labels here. And I think that especially for the fragrance that I am smelling, I feel like the picture on this label is quite appropriate. Let's go ahead and talk about the details of this candle. So this specific candle that I am reviewing was poured on August 20th, 2024. Top notes are listed as dirt, green, fresh. Mid notes of herbal, green, fir, base notes of wood and moss. So when I saw this candle, being teased to the ambassadors, sometimes, not always, but sometimes Kringle lets us know ahead of time when they are, launching products. And this is one of the launches that we were made aware of about a week, I would say, prior to the launch, maybe a little bit more than that. And this is one that I thought was, okay, that's a little bit intriguing. Doesn't really sound like it would be up my alley. However, I have to tell you guys that this is one of those fragrances that when I burn it, I really enjoy it. It's definitely out of my typical wheelhouse for this time of year. You guys know October, I tend to reach for a lot of pumpkin and spice and gourmand type of fragrances. So this one being a little bit more of like a fresh outdoorsy type of fragrance. Other than, you guys know that I've been enjoying fragrances like, say, Sweater Weather. That's a very fresh type of fragrance, but this is in even a different wheelhouse than that, I would say. This fragrance to me is a beautiful balance of like herbaceous green notes combined with a little bit of what I would call good dirt. That's the best way that I can describe this. Now, I am not in the agriculture business, so I really don't know my dirts that well. I know a lot of dust because I live out here in Arizona. And truth be told, we actually do have a lot of farmlands around us. But this, to me, there is a freshness that comes from whatever they are listing as their green accord in here. I'm sure that they're trying to get kind of a mossiness in here. It almost smells herbaceous to me. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what herbs I'm smelling. You guys, I'm not this culinary wizard, truthfully. I've got 3 kids. They like to eat a lot of kid food. But it's just very like fresh herbs, I would say, mixed with some dirt element that's kind of like grounding it, I would say. This is a little bit harder fragrance for me to describe, if I can be 100% honest. But I do detect even a base note here that they list as being wood, and those mid notes of fir. I definitely detect some type of like woody tree element, but the tree in here is not really like a pine tree, or maybe even the like needles on a tree. It's definitely more of the wood aspect that you would detect from a tree. I think that this is a really well done fragrance. I like it. It's unique in my collection. I haven't really smelled anything like this. And like I said, this is a fragrance that is not typically in my wheelhouse for this time of year. Now, that being said, I actually see myself finishing this fragrance, probably setting it aside maybe to burn sporadically here and there when I get a little bit tired of all of the gourmand that I've been focusing on during this time of year. But this fragrance to me, actually, I think it would be good almost year round, to be honest with you, because it doesn't really scream that it has to be particularly in the fall season. I do know that it's labeled as mid-autumn moss, and maybe if I lived in an area where we received more rain and we encountered more like moss on like a forest floor, I would probably be able to really maybe associate that with a certain season. But because I live in Arizona, I live in the desert, we don't have that. So for me, this is just like a nice, fresh, herbaceous, mixed with good dirt type of fragrance. And therefore, because of that, I feel like I could burn this fragrance year round. I have seen from a couple of people in the Kringle Facebook group that they really enjoy pairing this, I believe, with the Halloween fragrance 6 Feet Under. I don't have that candle in my collection, but I do know that that is one that is kind of marketed as like a dirt type of fragrance, so I could see possibly how they would complement each other well. But it's a nice fragrance. I'm actually just pleasantly surprised by how much I am enjoying it. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So you can see I'm at about the halfway point here. We have nice solid flames going on this candle. I have actually had this lit for, goodness, probably about 3 hours now. You can see that the wicks aren't even, like, they're not too wild and crazy. I have been trimming them just a little bit prior to each burn, but they are not super thick and rope-like. And of course, I am getting good, decent flames on it. Strength and throw on this candle, I'm going to settle on this being a solid 7 for me. It's not a powerhouse. It doesn't overtake all of the rooms in my house. Obviously, you guys know, like, most candles these days, just, I think gone are the days when they used to really, you know, fill up an entire house. I have yet to find any candle brand that I currently purchase from that seems to do that in my home. If you are new to my channel and you are curious about my home layout, environmental factors, all of that information is listed down in the description box for you, so that way you can compare the size of my home and just other elements to your home. But yeah, this one's about a 7 for me. I can smell it decently in my open concept living room where there are some high ceilings. Does it carry all the way into my kitchen area? A little bit, not a ton. It definitely doesn't wrap around into the bedrooms. However, when I have burned this candle in smaller bedrooms that have more closed concept with lower ceilings, it's definitely a more potent fragrance. So I would say that if you have people in your family who are maybe a little bit more sensitive to fragrance, that this one would be okay if you're burning it in an open concept. But if you have a more closed concept style of home, I could see how this fragrance might be, that would be very hesitant, might be, I don't want to say offensive to anybody, but it is definitely going to be a little bit more detectable and noticeable. So overall, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to say like whether I would give this candle 2 thumbs up or not, because it's just not typically in my wheelhouse. It's a nice, pleasant surprise. It's not going to be a repurchase for me. It's not one that I'm just clamoring to have more of, but it's also a fragrance that I don't see myself decluttering. If you caught my most recent video, you guys know that I actually just did a huge candle declutter. And this is a fragrance that I am enjoying enough and the performance is good enough for me that I am feeling like I can go ahead and keep this one till the very end. I may not break it out again. I might put it in here and there throughout the fall season, but like I said, I could see myself even burning this candle in the springtime. So this candle is still currently available on the KRINGLE website. I do have a discount code with them that is an affiliate code that's eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. Katie15 will save you 15% off of your purchase with them. But yeah, I'm very happy that this one was sent to me and that I was able to give it a try. Stay tuned this week, you guys. I have quite a few candle reviews that I am filming and lining up to go ahead and put up some reviews for you guys. To be honest with you, just the nature of how my collection is right now, quite a few of those are some KRINGLE candles. I do have a Homeworks candle that I wanted to get a review up for all of you, and stay tuned. Over the course of, I would say, like the next week and a half, I did go ahead and purchase, I've purchased some candles from Homeworks, from some of the limited edition country candle lineup. I'm going to be doing an exchange at Bath & Body Works, so I plan to have a haul coming up for you guys probably late next week, covering a couple of those brands and some of their new fragrances. I've also been notified that I have some PR being sent to me from Homeworks, so I'm hoping to get that done for you. I'll probably have another empties, but until then, you guys just be aware that a lot of my dedicated reviews over the next week are probably going to be pretty KRINGLE heavy, because that's just kind of how, you know, how the chips fell for right now. So please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Feel free to comment down below if this is a candle that you have in your collection. Have you been enjoying it? Is this one that intrigues you? Do you tend to like some of these fragrances, or do you live in an area of the country where you feel like this is an authentic autumnal fragrance? I would be very curious to hear from all of you guys. Once again, I want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.